Hey folks, Tim from Supreme Suspensions here, and this is another 4Runner. Now, in addition to all the other stuff that came standard on these things, this one has been fitted with a TRD supercharger kit, and it gives it some much needed grunt, especially down in the low end, which is what we really like out on the trails. Now, speaking of the trails, we need to give this guy some more ground clearance, so let's hit the shop.
Once you get the wheels off, disconnect the sway bar link from the control arm. Next, you'll want to undo the lower ball joint. Remove the bolt from the lower strut mount. And then remove the 3 nuts from the upper strut mount. So you can drop the strut assembly out of the truck. Mark the spring and the upper strut mount so they can be realigned later. Compress the coil spring with a compressor and remove the upper nut from the strut so you can slide the strut cartridge out of the coil spring. Insert the new cartridge into the coil spring and tighten the upper nut to 47 foot-pounds. Over at the bench, install the lift spacer onto the strut and torque the factory nuts down to 21 foot-pounds. Slide the strut assembly into the truck and attach the upper mount with the supplied bolt. Attach the lower strut to the control arm, but don't tighten the bolt just yet. Using a jack to assist you, attach the lower ball joint and run the nut down to 105 foot-pounds. Make sure you install a new cotter pin. Torque the lower shock mount nut to 100 foot-pounds, and tighten the upper bolts down to 21 foot-pounds. Reattach the sway bar and torque the link to 51 foot-pounds. Moving to the back, support the rear axle and remove the rear shocks. If you plan to reuse them, you can get away with leaving the upper mounts attached. Slightly lower the axle and remove the coil springs. Insert the coil spring spacer between the spring and the spring isolator. Install the springs back into the truck. Install the shocks. Tighten the upper nuts to 14 foot-pounds and the lower bolts to 47 foot-pounds. Reattach the sway bar link and tighten a nut to 51 foot-pounds. Torque the lug nuts down to 82 foot-pounds and you're good to go.
Okay, so today we installed a 3-inch lift on the front and a 2-inch lift on the rear, and while we were at it, we gave it a set of Pro Comp shocks and struts because the old ones were looking kind of old and crusty. It's all ready for that trek back to Colorado, so we're going to hit the road.